大家好，我是小满。今天我们来聊聊一个特殊的视角，西方成长背景的博主 Robert Cheng 深入中国顶尖985高校的体验视频。在1300万高考大军的残酷筛选下，这群被视为天之骄子、未来精英的顶尖学子究竟过着怎样的生活？让我们跟随他的镜头，看清中国高等教育金字塔尖的真相。
This is me, sitting in an engineering lecture hall at one of China's 985 universities. They're essentially the Ivy League equivalent of a university, and I'm slowly beginning to understand why.
In Spanish, and the other half, just take notes in Chinese. Yeah, I have a feeling this is gonna be for sure.
The atmosphere is tense. While there's an absence of stink being masked by Axe body spray, I could still smell the unease in the air. And that's because it's close to final exam season for these students, and they're fighting tooth and nail to come out on top at this prestigious institution. Well, sort of.
我想，因为我在准备这个考试，我想就是如果你能问我一个问题，然后我想是展示在我的这个知识，
可以。那问你的问题，为什么会有同声？为什么会有不同的声高？
But before we get to the part where I humiliate myself and almost get kicked out of a lecture hall, we have to go back, because this isn't about me. It's about something much, much bigger. There's a percentage listed on this piece of paper, and you might have already figured out what it represents. It's the average undergrad acceptance rate into the top echelon of universities in the nation, collectively known as the 985 Project. And its namesake comes from the date on which the project was officially announced, May 5th, 1998.
他说：“我们的大学应该成为科教兴国的强大生力军。为了实现现代化，我国要有若干所具有世界先进水平的一流大学。”
And the idea behind the 985 project was to establish a sort of two-pronged initiative, one of gargantuan magnitude that would help modernize higher education in China, while also feeding into the infrastructure to build world-class universities domestically. But back to this arbitrary percentage. It doesn't really tell the full story. On the other hand, this represents the number of students that took the Chinese university entrance exam, commonly known as the Gaokao, back in 2025. There are more students taking this exam annually than there are people living in the state of Pennsylvania. To punch your ticket into a top 985 university, as a domestic student, you'd have to compete within that pool of 13 million people and clock in an astronomically excellent score on one of the hardest exams to ever exist. So naturally, I began asking myself, what's it actually like to study at one of these elite institutions? Well, today we're going undercover to find out. But to make sure things run smoothly, we're going to need some help.
A building. We just got here.
That's where my friend Ian comes into the picture.
It's me. Hi, I'm Ian.
He's an international student from Panama and our golden ticket into a 10 a.m. engineering class.
So how cooked do you think you would be if you were to take the Gaokao?
The hero motherfucker because oh my god.
Remember what I said earlier about those ludicrously low 985 acceptance rates? Well, they don't apply to Ian or to any other prospective international student for that matter, because international applicants aren't gated by a Gaokao score.
之前很少见到外国人，现在能每天都看到一些外国人，很新奇。
I think it'll be fully cooked. 50-60% of the test.
What's the max? 750? And to get into this uni and an engineering major, you usually have to get over like 650 plus.
Of course, that's not to discredit Ian and the effort that he's taken to get here.
So, in this part of the campus, there's four main buildings. A building, this is the B building. You can see this is the most packed of all buildings. It has 5 floors, 2 elevators. It didn't work as they should, but I mean, you guys gonna take a look.
So, after meeting up with Ian on campus, we still had a few minutes to spare before class.
Wanna take a look at the cafeteria?
Yeah, let's take a quick look.
As someone that grew up in the West, I've always been profoundly curious about the education system here in China. And one major talking point about higher education in particular is that nobody here is afflicted by student debt.
This is the student debt crisis.
Student debt crisis? Total student debt in America is at $1.8 trillion.
This is where the effects of the 985 project really shine through. Tuition is extremely affordable due to government subsidies.
我们一个学期学费就几千块钱，那就是普通家庭也能够胜任，所以就是贷款的也相对较少。
And on-campus amenities like this convenience store are also a byproduct of this initiative.
This is like a cafeteria / convenience store, right? Yes. Oh, okay. So you got the cafeteria over here. Whoa.
Not to mention, they stock appropriately priced food items, which means you see more of this and less of this.
Holy schmoly, $20.71 before taxes.
Okay, one more floor. Do you usually take the elevator?
I don't like it.
Okay.
It's too slow. As I tell you, if you press the button and you're like in the first floor, it should take around 6 minutes.
Okay.
To get there. You good?
Yeah, we're good, we're good. I'm huffing and puffing after that that staircase set.
And after trekking up several flights of stairs, we finally made it.
So this is really your assistance.
Students are required to swipe their card on this machine as proof that they've shown up to class.
Obviously, we don't have a student card, so we're just gonna be low-key about it.
And getting caught without a student card would prove to be problematic, as I would soon find out. But more on that later. Upon entering the lecture hall, I began to feel my nerves run wild. You have to understand, I was never an exemplary or hardworking student.
Your fundamentals are not like as strong as most of the Chinese people here. Then you have to double in the work to adapt.
So claiming an undeserved seat here in a hall full of borderline geniuses seemed like hearsay.
The certificate that they gave her, it's for like amazing grades.
I braced myself for the cold stares, the arrogance, the sharp-elbowed competition, you know, stuff you'd expect from a meritocratic system this intense.
In this span of like a year, you're taking Calc 1, Calc 2, like immediately, and then also Calc 3. Class speed was like something that I've never experienced before.
But instead, I found a room full of people who were surprisingly laid back and friendly even. But if these students were so laid back in the face of adversity, then maybe even I, as a complete outsider, could stand a chance in the system. Something in me wanted to find out. And so I brazenly threw myself at a boss well beyond my skill level.
老师，我有个问题，如果你能问我一个问题，然后我想是展示一下我的这个知识。
可以。那问一个问题，为什么会有同声？为什么会有不同的压升高？挺积极的。然后需要给你搞个评成绩什么的吗？因为我正好我也要想好这个，你知道吗？
这个问题其实有点难。有没有同学可以帮一下忙吗？
有接触到的，好，完全接受。
Oh, wait, shit, I think he wanted me to come over here.
Yep, that's me. Great job staying undercover, you big doofus. It's not as bad as it looks though, and thankfully the professor was a pretty good sport about the whole thing.
我以为你是北班的，
考验的内容。你们三个都会考验吗？
那我不好意思，有没有考
Okay, just got out of class.
So as the morning block wrapped up, I watched this massive wave of students on e-bikes moving slowly toward their next destination. I've never seen a traffic jam quite like this. And while the scene captures a uniquely chaotic part of Chinese university life, it also reflects a deeper paradigm shift that's currently unfolding.
I've actually just made my way downstairs because I want to get a feel for what's like on the ground. The bird's eye view is nice, but I feel like being on the ground will give me some much needed insight. I just scanned this bike. You can find them all over campus. But it seems like we've lost Ian and our cameraman in the chaos. In 2026, China is expected to produce just around 13.7 million fresh graduates. That's a lot of people. And 20 years ago, that number was sitting at just 3.8 million. And this traffic jam sort of symbolizes this invisible bottleneck that these fresh graduates are facing. And the students here aren't an exception. In a job economy that's becoming more saturated with degree holders, graduating from a 985 university is still a big deal, but it might not be the panacea or the miracle cure that this generation is looking for.
My consolation prize for getting humbled in the lecture hall would lead me to the next location where we might be able to find some more relevant insight.
I'm currently standing outside a Chinese student dormitory where we'll be getting unfettered access to one of the students' rooms, and it's going to be really interesting to see what's going on behind the scenes over here.
If you have so much people coming for education in one area, in some dorms, in universities, they pack 4 students per dorm. Sometimes they pack 6.
我一般不待在寝室，对，除非是说学习，可能会待在寝室学。高考其实当时有疫情嘛，然后可能高3的时候也没怎么认真学，晚晚学这样。我们学校管得比较松，当时都在家里学，我每天打游戏。上大学一开始也想这么做，上课听，后来发现听不懂，然后干脆就放弃上课听，或者说没那么重视，上课简单听一下，主要放在自学上。高中的时候会想做到方方面面都做到很好，但到了大学的话，有时候会放弃掉一些部分。现在人比较多嘛，人变质比较严重，那我觉得更多的还是个人能力吧。
你班上的别的同学都是读研？
对，基本上都要读研。目前专业学的东西还不够多吧，感觉就业压力会比较大，而且薪资也比较有限，所以一般我们专业都会接着读研。
I was expecting to promptly head on my way after documenting the student dorm, but I ended up sitting down with this junior year student and we just talked, contextualizing the life of an elite student and also the paradigm shift from earlier through interactions like this makes the process feel so much more special.
我感觉你们在上课的时候在听什么，就是也听不懂呀。其实我上课也听不懂。
I wanted to talk to more students about what actually happens after graduation, so I snuck into this English class hoping to start a dialogue. But I made a grave miscalculation. The small class size made my sudden appearance look incredibly suspect. I needed to establish rapport, and fast.
你好，请问一下，你们这门课是英语吗？Okay, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Robert. What's your name? 语言。你觉得你们的英语水平怎么样？一般。你们是英语专业的吗？对。你大几了？大3。
For a moment, it was actually going great. The class was about to start, but I wanted to take it a step further, blend in as a regular student, and stay completely under the professor's radar.
That is officially the bell.
OK， 所以可能你下次还是要征得。
不好意思啊，我就是经过你们的这个教室，然后听到这个你们在用英语对，所以就是比较感兴趣。OK，
我觉得 先要跟教务沟通，好不好？这样
啊，
对，然后再下次再过来。
啊，好，行，谢谢。好，
好，谢谢打扰你们了。
Unfortunately, I failed the perception check. Which brings us here.
Welcome to the world of student-driven education.
图书馆挺安静的，就是大家都在学习，就是我们图书馆它没有一个可以说话的地方，觉得这个比较欠缺。
I'm actually breaking an unspoken rule right now by speaking within this domain. These floors in the library act as a study hall where students come congregate to self-study and cram for exams.
你真的要就是掌握这门学科的知识，就必须得去自己去学，必须全集全部靠自己，不要依靠老师，不可能的。
The chairs and tables here have this blocky wooden texture to them that's both familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. There are no barriers in this section, no fancy seating arrangements, no casual conversations going on in the background. Looking up, even just for a second, reveals the students that are working harder and more efficiently than you. It's an environment that's engineered to elicit urgency.
Because they need some driving force to push them forward. And everybody are supposed to do the same things and the same goals. It's because of this kind of settings. So we are very locked in a system.
In a system that's supremely results-oriented, studying and scoring in the top percentile on a critical exam like the Gaokao is the name of the game. It's how these elite students got here in the first place, and it's how they'll get to their next destination as well.
我打算考公。
考公。
我觉得先考研嘛。
我自己其实是蛮想尝试考公的。我打算考公不考研。
算是小镇做题家。大学之前，我觉得人生就是要不断的去拼搏，去考在前面，学在前面。但上了大学之后，我觉得人生其实有很多种选择的，不光是要考好，去学好。
Paradigm shift or not, I noticed a surging wave of optimism in the air as students in blue and black gowns filled the entrance to the library. These are the soon-to-be 985 graduates of 2026, and I wanted to get their take on a particular decision that graduates where I'm from tend to gravitate toward.
这个 gap 1年这个概念有什么想法？
国内 gap year 的话，感觉在简历上留了黑点吧。
我觉得大部分的家庭，如果不是有足够的就是经济实力的话，都是不太会去支持的。
如果你有 gap 的话，就竞争力上就不如别人嘛，大家都差不多，都那么好，为什么就会要你一个愿意休息的 ？gap 1年的话，可能就不太好，继续找比较好的工作了。
因为父母的话，他们都是比较焦急的，总是带有一些就是任务式的一些思想，就是觉得孩子上学，然后马上就要去就业，就业之后去结婚生子。我觉得这些都是一连串的，就都是一些中国式家长的一些思维。
所以读研的话，也算是一个对我来说是一个科研的 gap year。
But what they said afterwards surprised me.
跟你父母说你要 gap 1年，他们会有什么样的反
应？我觉得他们还是会支持我的。
我父母对我期望就让我开心快乐就行了，就是不要有太大压力，然后过得开心就行了。
无所谓，人生其实什么时候都是开始，人生的容错真的是很大的。如果能使自己找到一个更好的方向 ，gap 1年其实未尝不可。
There's actually a very definitive roadmap for these elite graduates, and it doesn't involve taking a gap year. Remember when I was talking to the professor from the first lecture?
对，考研吗？考研的内容。每三个都会考研吗？
That's Ian in the background asking his classmates if they plan on taking the post-grad exams. We heard the same rhetoric from our new friend in the student dorms as well. There's also the civil service exam, which is widely considered to be a pragmatic choice for those not in STEM. Suddenly, that scene from the library starts to carry a lot more weight when you realize that the exam that these students are studying for could very well determine their future once more.
These exams are largely accessible across the nation, even for students from lower-tier universities. But that's where these graduates can noticeably leverage their coveted 985 stamp to gain a competitive edge.
班上的同学可能一半的话都是在国内的985和 C9 的学校读研读博，然后还有一部分就是去到很多大厂，像宁德时代啊、腾讯啊。
我选择的是去考选调生，然后去基层。
选调是只有像比较优秀的985的学生才可以进行的，面向全体的就是正常的考公务员，就是竞争会比较大，可能一个比较热门的岗业可能就是1比70这样的一个招收比例。
如果不考公直接去就业的话，也没有多少适配的岗位，其实。
就业环境压力比较大吧，因为大家都比较卷，
就业情况也不是很好，所以公务员这个的话就是能够更稳定一些，能考公的话离家里面也比较近。
据我所知，大部分还是会去考研，就是选择考公的可能更偏向于是一些女生，但是大部分人考公务员可能会往家考，因为离家近一点的话，也不想着说要挣多少钱这个样子，主要就是图一个生活安稳。
我比较喜欢我家乡那边嘛。然后我是甘肃的，我就发现甘肃的发展不好，然后我就想尽自己的一点点能力吧，然后以后去发展一下家乡。
大家对未来方向的选择吧，所以导致有这种差异。但是我觉得每个方向都有光明的未来吧。
I had spent a day in the system with these elite students, documenting a reality that once seemed very far removed from my own. Everyone here is fighting to become masters of their own destiny in an age where nothing is guaranteed. Yet they persist. But now comes the moment of reckoning where I come face to face with the uncomfortable truth about this whole thing.
I think I've failed to illustrate just how big this university really is. And I'm going to take a second to regain my bearings here. There are currently no students in the hallways or in the classrooms. So it is much quieter. There's a very stark contrast to the classes from this morning. I'm gonna call my mom real quick. She's been blowing up my phone the entire day, but yeah, just wait for me for a second and I'm gonna take this call. Hello? Mom?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Robert.
Yeah, I noticed that you called me a bunch of times today. I was shooting a video, so I didn't have time to pick up.
Because I really called you quite a few times, but you didn't answer me, so I'm worrying about you. You just said you were doing something else, right? Like short videos.
Yeah, Mom. I'm shooting a long form video. It's not a short form video. And
okay.
I don't know, I've just been interviewing students and I was at the library earlier. I sat around in some classes and yeah, I have to go back and edit the footage. I'm not sure how it'll pan out, but yeah.
I know right now the world's economy is not doing well. So many young people, they couldn't find a job. Like I said before, I hope you to go back to the university to get a master's degree. Then things will get better, right?
Yeah, I know. You've been talking about that a lot, and I just want to put I want to put some time and effort into something else for a bit and see how it pans out. But
okay, I I don't want to put worries on you, right? You know, every parent just hope their kids have a good future.
Yeah, thanks. I know, Mom. I know. Yeah, I'll call you back later, okay?
All right. So
Yeah.
be good.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Talk to you later, Mom. Love you. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
看完这段视频，相信最触动大家的是作者在视频结尾与母亲那通跨越跨国电话的对谈。那一刻，视频完成了一次从旁观者到局内人的心态转变。作者从最初对中国高强度教育体系的猎奇、对内卷氛围的紧绷，逐渐转变为对这群精英学子深沉的共情。当他听到母亲在电话里念叨着经济不景气，劝他回学校读个硕士好找工作时，跨越文化与地域的焦虑在这一刻奇迹般的交织在了一起。这不仅是中国学生的困境，更是全球年轻一代共同面临的时代隐形瓶颈。从整体评价来看，视频难能可贵地打破了西方对中国顶尖大学的刻板印象。这里没有冷酷无情的竞争狂人，只有在图书馆里高度自律，在食堂里精打细算，面对镜头依然真诚，甚至有些松弛感的普通年轻人。985院校那极低的录取率背后，不是机械的服从，而是一种高度务实的理性。面对2026年创纪录的毕业生潮，这些精英不再寄希望于虚无的间隔年，而是目标清晰地走向考研、考公。他们深知制度的残酷，却依然选择在既定的游戏规则里，将985标签转化为自身最坚实的护城河。这正是本片最核心的主题升华。在一个充满不确定性的宏大时代里，没有人能拥有绝对的安全感，即便是金字塔尖的精英也是如此。但中国年轻一代身上展现出的，并非绝望的躺平，而是一种在无常中执着寻找确定性的坚韧。正如作者在片尾所说，每个人都在为成为自己命运的主人而战。时代潮水汹涌，我们无法预测未来，但只要依然有人在不确定的岁月中选择死磕，选择 locked in， 这种持久的生命力本身就是对这个时代最严肃、最响亮的回应。